and now Superpower is going to be overkill on this Abomasnow. Definitely enough to knock out the Shadow type. Yes, it is. Boom! What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Ox here with another video. If you're new to the channel, we do upload Pokemon Go content mostly related to PvP, so please consider subscribing to the channel if that is of interest to you. And if you're a returning subscriber like Poke Trainer Ash, thank you for the support. In today's video, we're taking a look at a shoutcast of battles in the Open Great League featuring a legend rank player. Before we jump into that, let me speak a little bit about my own battles. We are currently sitting at 2981 elo. I know we haven't uploaded a video in a while on the channel. I will be uploading one tomorrow showcasing the team that I have been using in Great League Remix. With some success, finally found a team that has been working for me. And if I do not choke like Paul George in the clutch once again, we should have a legend rank video on the weekend. If not, we'll have a video showcasing how a PvP scrub continues to choke each time he gets close to legend. So for today's battles, we have a shoutcast featuring a legend rank player, King Magikarp 314. Not only is this player legend rank, this player is 12 years old. Yes, this is a young kid putting in the work, showcasing a pretty spicy team consisting of a Froslass Chesnaught core. Now this core is pretty solid in general. It is definitely spicy and it will have some weaknesses, so Galarian Stunfisk is there to counter some of those weaknesses, stuff like charm users. And halfway through these battles actually switches out the Stunfisk for Lanturn running water gun, so that makes the team even spicier because Lanturn with water gun, you know, it has some niche matchups, but in general I think Stunfisk will perform better with this team, but we'll see how both of these lines perform. If you guys enjoy this type of content, please make sure you smash that like button. It really helps the channel grow. Leave a comment in the comments section down below. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And without any further ado, let's jump into the first battle right now. So we got King Magikarp 314, the 12-year-old battler, PvP prodigy, slapping down the old heads here like myself. We got a Chesnaught lead into a Azumarill here. It's a very positive lead, of course, for the Chesnaught, and basically just need to go straight Energy Ball. In this particular matchup, you will be outpacing the Azumarill with that Vine Whip, and the opponent does shield up. So a little bit surprising to see the opponent stay in this matchup. Might mean that they're double weak to Chesnaught with another Pokemon in the back, perhaps weak to it as well. Do shield up the Ice Beam there, and going to get to the next Energy Ball here, or farming a little bit. And let's see if the Azumarill is going to shield up once again, or just let it go down here. Does shield up again, so would expect this to go to the 2 shields and then possibly just let the Azumarill go down, or maybe try to catch the move onto the next Pokemon. Let's see what happens here. They do swap out into Galarian Stunfisk. This is a very questionable decision because now this Stunfisk is going to get absolutely destroyed by these superpowers without even getting a move off. And yeah, this is not looking good for the opponent here. This Chesnaught should probably be swapping out at this point once the next Pokemon comes in to reset the debuff. Probably swap into the Froslass here. Yeah, so Froslass comes in. Can definitely take a move here from the Azumarill. And let's see how they're going to play this out. Actually, probably going to overfarm here and then go for the Avalanche. It's actually a really good play here, understanding that this Avalanche will be enough to KO the Azumarill here. No need to go for the Shadow Ball, and that allows them to save energy. An Umbreon comes in the back, so going to throw the Avalanche here. I guess the opponent didn't swap out because Chesnaught did sort of threaten all 3 Pokemon there. Threaten the Azumarill with the Energy Ball, and then the Umbreon plus Stunfisk with the Superpower. So not something you usually see. Chesnaught typically doesn't perform that well from my experience. However, did have a very nice team comp to run to in this battle. So Last Resort comes through, survives that. Going to get to the Superpower. Unfortunately, the Umbreon is going to KO here with the Foul Play most likely. Yes, it does. But this game is pretty much over. Have a full health Stunfisk in the back. Just needs to get to 1 Rock Slide pretty much, and this game is over. So Chesnaught, a very dominant performance there in the lead. Ran into a very fortunate team comp and going to get off to a 1-0 start here with this line. So let's jump into the next matchup. We got Crayon KHSK88 here. These are some legend rank battles, of course. Jellicent into Chesnaught. This is a pretty neutral matchup in general. Opponent does swap out into Ninetales, and this Ninetales is running Powder Snow. So here comes the Galarian Stunfisk. And Galarian Stunfisk has a pretty nice time against Alolan Ninetales, so going to tank that Weather Ball, throw this Rock Slide. Rock Slide, of course, is going to hurt the Alolan Ninetales. Let's see if the opponent shields. They do not going to let that go through. Looks like they're just going to sack the Alolan Ninetales at this point. Get off one more Weather Ball here. This will not KO the Stunfisk, so no point to shield. And now going to throw the Rock Slide, overfarming a little bit, and have some leftover energy for whatever comes back in next. Probably the Jellicent. Is this Jellicent running Bubble or Hex? We're about to find out. It is running Hex. So can it get to this Earthquake? Is able to get to the Earthquake here. This is huge. Going to be doing a lot of damage to this Jellicent right here. They do let that go through. Wow, that's more than 50% of the health gone right there. Farms down, so that's not great. Comes back in with Chesnaught here. Going to shield up. Does have access to Ice Beam and Shadow Ball. Baits with the Bubble Beam, which is pretty huge. Swaps out into Altaria, and oh no. This is not good for the opponent here. Froslass going to go to town. Shielding up the Sky attack here. Should be able to, well, thing is, will the Altaria want to shield here? Probably shield once. Could just let it go down. See the shields for Jellicent. The Jellicent is very low though, so they do let it go down. Jellicent comes back in here, going to bait with the Avalanche here. They do have 2 shields, so it makes sense to burn one at this point and just go for the bait. Jellicent going to throw the move. This should be enough to KO. I'm expecting a Shadow Ball here. That's going to be overkill on the Froslass. The Chesnaught comes back in here. Now they did show Bubble Beam, so they're running Shadow Ball, no Ice Beam, so you can definitely tank this. And the play here is to actually just farm down with Vine Whip. You cannot throw the energy despite having 2 moves there because the opponent still has a shield. Farming down is the safer play. Very well played there. Understand the win condition. Takes that game. VisionC here in the next match. We got Chesnaught into Pelipper. So this is a pretty bad matchup for Chesnaught because it is grass and fighting. So those wing attacks are really doing a lot of damage here. Froslass going to come into the safe switch. We see a Stunfisk come in. This isn't the worst matchup, still a losing matchup for Froslass. However, it is possible to win perhaps if they want to go to the 2 shields. Just gonna let the Rock Slide go through instead. It's possible to win because the opponent already let that first move go through. With an energy lead, Froslass could win this with a shield advantage. So the opponent does burn a shield there. At this point, I guess the Froslass is going to let this go down. No, they're going to shield, okay. So they're going to try to get one more shield here from the Stunfisk. But I do believe after that, they're just going to take the 1 shield advantage here. Let the Froslass go down. Wow, they actually take switch. So that's pretty solid right there. Main issue though is that this Pelipper actually has a good match against both Chesnaught and Stunfisk. So fortunately, these shields are still even. Going to throw the Avalanche here. Probably did not feel that they could get to the Shadow Ball. So they do get off some chip damage here. And going to come in with the Chesnaught. So saving the Stunfisk instead for the Pelipper, which is going to be pretty tricky here. Focus Blast really hurts the Chesnaught. They swap out to Pelipper. Does not throw the energy ball to get the shield. And because this Pelipper has an energy lead, this looks like it's going to be a GG here. Pelipper is going to outpace to the Weather Balls. And Stunfisk just cannot do enough damage here with the Mud Shots. This match is very favorable for Pelipper. Even though Rock Slide and Weather Ball are very even in energy, it mostly comes down to Wing Attack doing more damage than the Mud Shots do. So Pelipper ends up having a pretty favorable matchup most of the times against Stunfisk. So expect the Pelipper to shield at this point. Throw the Weather Ball and that's going to be enough to KO the Stunfisk here. At which point the Chesnaught's going to come back in, needs to land an energy ball. What they swap out into the Registeel. Going to throw Superpower. If this KOs, there is a chance, assuming that the Pelipper does not have a move ready. Oh, it just barely survives. The Vine Whip isn't enough to KO. Maybe if they weren't debuffed, that Vine Whip may have KO'd. The Registeel Flash Cannon comes through, going to knock out the Chesnaught. Very close game there regardless. So GG's to both players. Jump into the next matchup. We got PNikelas here. So looking to gatekeep here against an expert player at the time. We got Lanturn into Abomasnow, so did change up the team. Took out the Galarian Stunfisk in exchange for Lanturn, and that Lanturn's running Water Gun. So that was a horrible lead right there. And the opponent is going to bring Alolan Marowak to counter the safe swap here of Froslass. Throwing the Avalanche, so baiting here, does get the shield from the Marowak. And at this point, I like this play. Just hope that it's a Bone Club. If it is, you can get to the Shadow Ball, at which point you would pressure the second shield. If they go Shadow Ball, it's okay. You take that shield advantage, come back in here with the Lanturn, see what you could do. I agree with this play call right here. So the Lanturn comes in. Lanturn is running Water Gun. The thing is, Bone Club and Shadow Bone do still both hurt the Lanturn. You can see, even though it's super effective, Lanturn takes that pretty well. So would expect this one probably to be a Shadow Bone at this point. Shadow Bone should be doing a bit more damage despite not being super effective. And the defense drops, which is huge for the opponent. Very unfortunate here for King Magikarp. Going to throw the Thunderbolt. This should knock out the Marowak. And looking to swap immediately into the Chesnaught. And look at this, it's an Azumarill in the back. So this game has some play. Going to take a move here. Play Rough or Ice Beam from the Azumarill. It is an Ice Beam, shields that up. Going to Overfarm, throw the Energy Ball here. This is not going to KO, so let's see how they're going to play this out. Will they be able to farm down before the Azumarill gets to another move here? Yes, they are. What an aggressive farm down. That was very close. Abomasnow comes in, actually going for the bait with the Energy Ball here. This is going to be resisted damage. They do shield, and now Superpower is going to be overkill on this Abomasnow. Definitely enough to knock out the Shadow type. Yes, it is. Boom! Get out of here. Shadow Abomasnow doesn't want the smoke, but it has to take it anyways. King Magikarp taking that game. JB Yang 4 in the next matchup. Got some legend on legend violence right here. Lanturn into Bastiodon. This is the one time where you love having Water Gun. Typically, I think Spark is the preferred move. However, Water Gun does have some play. The main issue with Water Gun is that it generates energy so slowly, and both of Lanturn's moves require a lot of energy. So that's a bit unfortunate. Looking like they're going to go straight for the Hydro Pump here on the Bastiodon. Will the Bastiodon look to shield this? Actually undercharging here, and that leaves this Bastiodon the perfect amount of health to farm down free energy before the Bastiodon gets to another move. That was a pro play right there by the 12-year-old prodigy. We got Sableye coming in here, going to throw the Thunderbolts here. This is going to be doing some nice damage still to the Sableye, and they do burn their first shield. Now Sableye presents a bit of an issue for this backline. Has a good match against Froslass and decent match against Chesnaught as well. So coming in here with the Chesnaught, opponent swaps out into Medicham. Here comes the Froslass. This is an excellent matchup here for Froslass. Let's see if they're going to go for the Shadow Ball Nuke or the Avalanche bait. Initially takes the Psychic right there. Going to be able to get the two moves regardless. Going straight for the Shadow Ball here. I like this play because they're going to get to a second Shadow Ball regardless. Let's see if the opponent chooses to shield. They let it go through. Boom! There it is. Sableye comes in. Going to take the Avalanche here. Even if they let this go through, it's going to do a lot of damage. So the shield probably will come up. Yes, it does. And the Sableye is going to farm down. This is going to be a pretty close game here. Depends if this Sableye can land the return. Going to shield up. And it is in fact the return here the first time. Going to get to the Energy Ball, which is going to be enough to KO the Sableye and win this game. So a very impressive win right there. Had to take a quick break to check up on my dog right there, but we got Inadequance in the next matchup. This is a very talented trainer, very skilled, and always at the top of the leaderboards. We got Galvantula into Lanturn. Galvantula's pretty problematic for most of this team, to be honest, so this is not an easy matchup at all. Going to go for the lunge here, letting this first move go through. I think in this particular matchup, because the backline is so weak to Galvantula, you kind of just have to take the shield advantage and let the Lanturn go down here. It's not really the best play, but it's probably the only option you have at this point. So I think I would let this go through, but is going to shield up the lunge. Okay, so the reason I like shielding there is because they're going to outpace you to the next move, see? So now you're forced to burn a second shield. At this point, I wowould still let it go down, because the thing is, if you win shield advantage, you need to pray that they shield here and then you lose shield advantage, because you need to get an energy lead on this backline. And now with this backline being so glassy and the opponent having a shield advantage, it really doesn't matter if you have alignment, because they're going to be able to shield and move. And this team is so glassy, it's pretty much going to go down to a lot of one-shot moves. So very risky play right there in the lead matchup, and obviously a very difficult situation as well with the Galvantula lead and this particular team comp not really appreciating Galvantula. You can see here, I think they tried to catch the return onto the Froslass, but unfortunately that did not work out. So foul play comes through. That's pretty much going to one-shot the Froslass. Like I said, it's very risky playing with this backline without any shields. So Sableye going to come here, return on the... I forgot the name of the Pokemon there, because yeah, that was pretty rough right there. But Chesnaught got knocked out. Very tough opponent though, so GG's. JairoAz here in the next matchup. We got Lanturn into Galarian Stunfisk. So this is a tricky matchup, because although Lanturn does have the Water Gun here, Earthquake is going to be doing a lot of damage. The Mud Shots are even hurting, to be honest, so it's a pretty risky matchup. Definitely calling the Earthquake there is huge, and that's going to perhaps flip the matchup. If this Hydro Pump lands, then of course that's excellent outcome, and they do let the Hydro Pump go through. So Altaria comes in. At this point, you have to stay with the Lanturn. You can't swap out into Froslass. The main reason because Chesnaught is super weak to Altaria. Lanturn doesn't have a great matchup against it. So the best play here is to just let the Altaria take you out. Hopefully it throws energy. You do not want it to just farm you down. The thing is they couldn't farm down there or else the Lanturn would get to another Thunderbolt. So they are forced to throw energy. That's very good. Froslass comes in now. It has alignments here. Going to eat up the Sky Attack. Perhaps Dragon Pulse actually. Yeah, it is a Dragon Pulse. Does a lot of damage, but still okay. Azumarill comes in. Going to throw the Shadow Ball here. This should likely get a shield from the Azumarill here. It does, and now Chesnaught comes in. Chesnaught has a pretty solid matchup here, despite being behind on energy. Pretty much just needs to land one energy ball, so going to use one shield here. Play Rough comes through, and now going to throw the energy ball. Will they be able to outpace the Azumarill to the next move? The shield comes up. Let's find out right here. I actually do not think a Play Rough will KO from this range, so the Chesnaught should be okay. It is another Play Rough, does not KO. Should allow this Chesnaught to get the energy ball. Now ideally the switch timer would be up, so you could instantly swap out into the Froslass here. It's not up yet, so Chesnaught going to get farmed down, which is not good. If this Altaria gets to a Sky Attack, it's GG's. Froslass farmed down, able to farm down there, take the game, and another solid win right there for King Magikarp in the final battle of the video. So those were the battles featuring the Chesnaught Froslass core. Both of these Pokemon are core breakers, I find, and they work pretty well together. I do think the Stunfisk line works a bit better overall than the Lanturn version. However, for entertainment, the Lanturn one is a bit more spicy. Huge shout out once again to Magikarp314. Thank you for the battles, really appreciate it, and I had a lot of fun covering them. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, commenting, subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.